Hello there, and if you're watching this video in October 2023, the World of Warplanes team have just put on sale 3 of their special pilots, Cadman Miller, Vasiliy Pavlov and Albrecht Schneider. This video is going to help you decide whether you might like to pick one or more of those pilots up. Before I turn my attention to the first of the pilots, let me mention that if you buy any of these, you have to first play a battle before they will appear in your barracks. Don't be surprised if you buy them and they're not there immediately. Do play that battle. So we're going to talk about Cadman Miller first, and he is assigned to the B-17G, the Tier 6 American carpet bomber. And let's just open up his skill set, and here it is. Now, this is one of the special pilots, as indeed the other two are, that have a mastery skill which is not transferable to other planes. You also have another special skill which is. So let's discuss the mastery skill here. It's called the B-17G Master, and as you can see from this panel, it increases the boost duration and damage caused by bombs by 10%. This is good. It also increases the damage area of the bombs by 5%. Which is also good, but this is only for the B-17G aircraft. You can't take this skill elsewhere. Now, my view of the B-17G, and I don't pretend to be a bomber expert, is that it's not very strong, so any help that it can get from a special pilot like Cadman Miller is welcome. The second skill, I don't think is particularly useful on the B-17G at all. It's called the Strike from the Skies. Now, this skill can be released. That means you can get the skill points off it and assign them elsewhere. Or you can put this pilot and assign it to another aircraft and use this Strike from the Skies skill, although you can't use the mastery skill. And this skill says that it increases the acceleration and boost in a dive by 5%. Well, I think that's peculiar for a B-17G. I just can't imagine that I'm going to be putting it into a dive very often. And it's a slow lumbering beast. The fact that it accelerates a bit more quickly with this skill is neither here nor there, in my opinion. So I would be, if you keep Cadman Miller on the B-17G, inclined to take this skill off, release the skill points, and perhaps use them somewhere else, such as aerodynamics expert to try and increase the speed. If you've put protection equipment on the plane, which is quite likely, you could put protection expert on, and so on and so on. However, I do see a use for this skill on things like the P-51s or anything that's a quickly diving aircraft, and I'd be tempted not to use Cadman Miller on the B-17G, but instead assign him to one of the Mustangs or maybe the P-82s, F-82 type style of aircraft, anything that's got is American and can dive quickly. So do consider that. Overall, I don't think this is a particularly attractive pilot, and it wouldn't be my first choice out of the 3 that are currently available to buy. Now I'm going to turn my attention to the second of the special pilots. This is Vasiliy Pavlov, and he's assigned to the LA-5, a Tier 6 Soviet light fighter, and not a particularly popular one, I believe, although some of you may disagree with me. Opening up the skill set, the familiar mastery skill replaces Engine Guru 1. This is important. Sometimes these mastery skills are placed in a place which is good, such as on Elise Clark, where she has an extra maneuverability skill that complements the 2 existing skills and doesn't replace one of them. And Millie Elliott, where she also has a maneuverability skill, amongst other things, but it does replace one of those maneuverability skills, and therefore the placement of that skill is not so favourable. As it is, when we lose Engine Guru 1 here, what we get is an increase in the boost duration by 25%. That's nice, takes it up from 8 seconds to 10 seconds, which is long for a fighter. More particularly, the damage inflicted by forward-firing weapons is increased by 10%, and this takes this aircraft from reasonably good damage, but not much more than average, to somewhere around 3rd best in class. So that's nice, but it's only for the LA-5. The other extra skill, Frontline Pilot, it's only a 1-point skill. You can release it. Decreases the risk of fire by 20% and damage taken from AA guns by 10%. Probably not the most useful thing for a fighter. The LA-5 has got good fire resistance, 60, which is high for a fighter. This skill, for instance, might be useful on aircraft which are prone to fire and have low fire resistance. I'm thinking of the premium Kostikov 302, a Soviet fighter with a very, very low fire resistance. You might consider putting Vasily on that plane, or indeed you might put it on the bombers, the Russian bombers, or the Russian ground attackers. Overall, probably my second choice out of the three pilots that were on offer in October 2023. And I would probably buy this in preference to Cadman Miller. But as I say, the LA5 I don't believe is a particularly popular aircraft, and therefore I think this is probably not going to be a particularly popular choice either. Nevertheless, significant improvement on the aircraft, I would suggest. Let's move on. Now I'm going to talk about the last of the special pilots that's on offer in October 2023, and that's Albrecht Schneider. And he's assigned to the ME410. So let's open up his skill set. And as we can see, we have the familiar master skill. This is in the protection expert slot, but I think it actually subsumes the protection expert slot skills into this mastery skill, so you're not actually losing anything. Now, I don't actually use resilience equipment such as cockpit armor, engine armor on my ME410 at the moment, so that's no great deal to me. But if you are using protective equipment, then it's good news that this skill doesn't fully replace the protection expert, but absorbs it and then gives you more on top. And here we go. It increases the damage inflicted by forward firing weapons and rockets by 10%, which makes both the weapons and the rockets very good indeed. Increases the installed equipment's positive effect. That next bit is referring to the protection expert skill. This skill is the one that cannot be transferred. The other skill, which can either be released, so you have the 2 points for something else, or taken to another aircraft, is this boost expert. It's replacing eagle-eyed. Probably not a bad position for it to be put into. You're not losing a great deal. Increases the maximum speed with boost activated by 3%, increases the engine cooldown rate by 10%. So if we're thinking about other aircraft where we might use Albrecht Schneider, then you'd be looking for something where speed was a concern. So any of the German heavies, for instance, you might consider using this pilot. Now, personally, that's not what I would do, because I think Albrecht Schneider makes the ME410 extremely strong, borderline overpowered in my opinion. Now, I'm not going to go through my build. I have a video on the ME410. You can go and have a look at that and see what I've done with it. What I will say is that the base damage of the guns is 600 cumulative DPS. With my build and with Albrecht Schneider, you can see that nominally the cumulative damage has gone up to a huge 823. Nothing but nothing at tier 6, including the vaunted XP54, wants to go head on with this aircraft. Well, that's not quite true, because of course it depends on weapon ranges, and you've got 3 weapons groups on the ME410. But this is an extremely powerful aircraft, brilliant at taking down bombers, very good at taking out other heavies. And if I were trying to counter this aircraft, I might try and put a surprise maneuverability build on this plane. That's not what I've done. I've gone for speed. The base maximum speed under boost is 373 miles an hour. And if we just look at the speed, with my build and with this pilot again, with that supplementary skill, we've got the boost maximum speed up to 415 miles an hour. Now, this is a huge improvement for a maximum boost speed, and it basically means that you can either hunt down aircraft really quickly, or you can fly away from them really quickly. And you won't be surprised to learn that of the 3 pilots that are on offer in October 2023, if you can only buy one, this is the one I would buy, Albrecht Schneider. Now, there's also another bundle on offer which isn't a pilot. That's for the Convair XFY-1 Pogo. I have previously done a video on that aircraft. In fact, you probably need to look at 2 of my videos to get the full picture on that. If you are interested in that aircraft, you can have a look at my videos and decide whether it's a plane for you. As far as the pilots are concerned, I think there's a clear order here for me, certainly the way I play the game. Albrecht Schneider, by far and away the first choice as far as I'm concerned. Vasiliy Pavlov, a fairly distant second, but if you like the LA5, worth investing in. And Cadman Miller, which will improve the B-17G, but you're improving what I think is a tricky and not particularly strong aircraft. Not without its merits, but that would be my third choice. And with that, I hope you found that all helpful. And if you did, that you'll come back and see my future content. But for the moment, this is the Noble Q, signing off.